Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Today, including cable TV numbers fall to the early 1980 numbers. We'll tell you how far and how fast those subscriber numbers are falling. Primetime viewing on ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS falls by millions of viewers over the last 5 years. And the YouTube TV, Hulu, and more are growing, but not as fast as the rate of cable TV is falling. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First, though, if you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. It helps us grow, and hopefully we can help you break free from the high costs of television, but still watch what you enjoy. Let's start it off with 8.7 million fewer Americans are watching primetime ABC, NBC, Fox content than they were just 5 years ago. This comes from a report over from Variety. Originally, these reports were done by IndieWire. IndieWire and Variety are owned by the same company. 5 years ago, according to those numbers, in total, 8.7 million fewer people are watching the networks compared to what they were back in 2019 with that. 2018, I apologize, that's 5 years ago. We're seeing a steady drop. Now, here's the truth. Cord cutters can watch these, right? If you want to, you can get a live TV streaming service to watch these channels. If you want to, you can put an antenna on your house or in your house to watch them free with an antenna. I think just increasingly is one more sign of Americans moving from live television to on-demand. When, let's be honest, a vast majority of the top 100 programs are sports and live events, with the NFL and college football dominating that. You see why increasingly services like YouTube TV, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and others are becoming popular. People don't care about watching those shows live. They want to watch them when they want to watch them. This idea of must-see TV, of watching it when it goes live, just isn't around. You think about back in the days, they used to joke that in New York City, when Johnny Carson would go on commercial break, you would have plumbing issues, all the surge in demand of water for people flushing the toilets. That doesn't happen anymore. People aren't watching live events all at once, even now, like they used to. And they're especially not watching pre-recorded primetime content like they used to back in the day. So let me know, do you still watch programs like The Simpsons, Family Guy, NCIS, and others like that live? Or do you just either DVR it or watch it through a on-demand service like Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, and others? I'd love to hear from you. All right, cable TV has seen its subscriber numbers plummet to 1984 levels. With that, cable TV only has 34 million Americans now paying for it at the end of 2023. According to a report from MoffettNathanson, that is the same number of subscribers that was in 1984 and is down from its peak of 67 million subscribers in 2022. Now, you can also add in things like satellite companies have also seen numbers plummet. But in total, we're down. Satellite companies are down from its peak of 24 million to 15 million also. All put together, millions fewer Americans are paying for live TV services, even when you add in things like YouTube TV and others, that when they are considered into this, it's not happening. Cable TV has lost 33 million subscribers, satellites down 9 million. In total, 42 million people fewer pay for either satellite or cable television this year from the peaks of when those two services peaked out. Well, you probably say, well, they're just going to YouTube TV, Hulu, Sling TV, Fubo, and others. Well, according to the numbers, only 18 million Americans actually pay for those services. When you consider 42 million have canceled, that means millions of people are not replacing their live TV service with another live TV. They're going on demand only in some form with that, or an antenna with it. But yeah, according to this breakdown, again from MoffettNathanson, 18 million Americans now subscribe to a live TV service. Leachman Research Group says 6.5 million of those are YouTube TV, 4.6 Hulu plus live TV, Sling TV at 2.1, Fubo at 1.4. There's a few others in there, DirecTV and others don't report. They probably make up the remaining numbers. These are estimated numbers, but from well-respected research groups out there. So I want to know, do you subscribe to a live TV service or do you do on-demand only? I often find new cord cutters start with a cable-like streaming service, But if you're not a sports fan, they very quickly migrate away from that to the cheaper on-demand only services and the free services and the antennas and other places, instead of paying for a live TV service. This is a trend I expect to continue. For a good chunk of 2023, we saw these services lose subscribers, with YouTube TV at one point being the only service to add halfway through the year. Now, fall television with sports and more helped reverse that trend a little bit, helped these services add subscribers. We'll see if that continues into the first and third quarter of 2024. We'll have to wait for quite a few months for those numbers. But let me know. Are you one of the people who started with a live TV service and then downgraded to on-demand only? I hate to say downgrade. Drop that move to on-demand only, because on-demand only is a great way to watch content. All right, Amazon's a new home internet service. They're working on getting ready to launch satellites this year, to test later this year, for a limited public release next year. According to Amazon CEO, his home service is expected to come with a, quote, low price. Now, we still don't know what that means, but it's well reported that Amazon wants to come in well below what Starlink from SpaceX is charging for home internet. I always get people comment, why do you care? I have fiber, I have cable. You may, but millions of people do not. According to this report, 400 to 500 million people, according to Amazon, around the world still live without high-speed internet. This will bring it there. And for people who do live in one of those more rural areas, for whatever reason, I mean, somebody's got to work some of those particular jobs that happen out there. But this will bring you competition. I'm always a big fan of competition, because competition brings prices down, brings speeds up, keeps companies on it. So I'm actually kind of happy, even if you don't want to use it, having it there is pretty cool. Now, they do have plans for a portable dish. I actually think this is really great. If you're an RVer, camper, boondocker, you can take this small little dish with you, get internet no matter where you are, as long as you have a line of sight to the sky. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But this comes from an interview with CNBC's Jim Cramer last month, where he said, I think we can charge a low price and still make good margins, where it's a good business for us. I'm actually very bullish about that business when referring to Amazon's new internet service that will serve both home and business clients. So let me know. Would you subscribe to Amazon? Maybe if you're a Prime member, you can get a good discount on it. Let me know if you're interested in that. All right, if you're a YouTube TV customer, we got quite a few stories we're going to try to go through quickly. You may have noticed that in your library, when watching Warner Brothers Discovery content, every now and then it's randomly asking you to subscribe to Max to view content. YouTube has confirmed that this is a glitch that they're working to resolve. Keep an eye on it, but what's happening here is in the library, they're accidentally mixing some Max content in there. Warner Brothers Discovery's Max streaming service is available as an add-on for YouTube TV that will put its content directly into YouTube TV. And it seems that some of that's appearing alongside your DVR recordings and your video on demand from YouTube, making you think you need to subscribe to Max. Now, no word on when this is going to be fixed, but if you do run into this glitch where you're trying to watch a particular show, it's asking you to subscribe to Max, back out, look at different versions of that show. You know, when you can look at other options, you'll often find a version that's either from the video on demand library for YouTube TV or a DVR recording. And YouTube says they're working on addressing that glitch so it no longer suggests Max content for people who are not subscribed to Max. If you have a YouTube TV, last week Roku announced that, YouTube TV, Roku TV, dyslexic moment, Roku TV. If you have one, Roku has announced that later this year they're going to roll out an update that will allow your TV, if you turn it on, to automatically optimize its content for your TV. Pretty cool feature. Now with this, I have been told that this is an option you can opt in or out of, so you won't be forced to use this, and it will be based on what you're watching. It will automatically adjust it. Pretty nice feature. Also last week, T-Mobile announced on their 5G network that they've successfully tested 3.6 gigabit service. This is great news for home internet customers. Two reasons. While you may not get the 3.0 gigabits, it will allow them to handle more devices on one tower, more bandwidth, more ability to have speed, so that your speeds won't slow down when it gets congested, allowing you to have more home internet offered in more areas with that pretty cool feature. Check out the story down below. All right, let's get into the question of the day. Every day I try to answer a question here. If you have a question for me, leave me a comment down below and start out with something like a question for Luke, so I know it's for me to answer in these videos. Today's question comes from Mike, who says, Luke, I have a quick question. I signed up for ESPN Plus, but it doesn't allow me to watch the networks even though the content's there. When I try to watch it, it asks me to sign into a cable or streaming provider. This is one of the most common questions I get about ESPN Plus. Yes, ESPN Plus is not content from ESPN, ESPNU, and other ESPN networks. Instead, it's content that does not air anywhere else. The good news about it, though, is you're now able to go and watch a ton of additional sports. Now, you could go get a YouTube TV, Hulu, Sling, or others to watch the other live ESPN networks, or in the next year or two, ESPN is supposed to launch a way for you to be able to directly subscribe to the ESPN networks without needing a cable provider, likely through the ESPN app, just like you do with ESPN Plus. But yes, ESPN Plus does not access the main cable networks. Instead, it gives you access to content that doesn't air regularly on ESPN Plus, or on ESPN, you can watch through ESPN Plus, like a bunch of additional PGA content and NHL hockey games from out of markets and different areas. So hopefully that answered your question. If you have a question, leave me a comment, let me know. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up if you made it to the end. We would really appreciate your support. Until next time, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.